Yo, what's going on, guys? KrispyFlakes here. So we all have our favorite NBA teams, and we all have bad memories when it comes to the NBA draft. So pretty much what could happen is your team is really set on one prospect, and they end up drafting them, while right after another team takes a player that maybe was slept on, or maybe your team just overlooked, or maybe did not really need at that time, and that player ends up becoming a superstar, while the guy that you drafted ends up just becoming a role player or a bust or something like that. And then NBA fans gotta remind you about, yo, your team could have had this. As a Piston fan, it happens all the time to me because there's just so many different drafts out there that the Pistons screwed up on. So for today's video, we are going to see, what if every single NBA player was drafted one spot earlier? We're going to see what all these different teams look like out here with these players being drafted one spot earlier, just like teams that could have been. And also, this roster was created by a YouTuber known as Life Lesson 23. He makes rosters for me, guys. Link to his channel in the description below. Go check him out. These take a long time to make, so be sure to go show him some support for making this possible for you and I to experience together. And also, I think it's important to note that for the because, like, you know, the guy that was picked 3rd overall, they're now like the 2nd overall pick. The person that was picked 7th overall is now the 6th overall pick. So I was like, what should I do with guys that are drafted number 1 overall? Well, what I decided to do is, because I did not want to just like delete them, because that's very like significant. I didn't want to like send them to the 2nd round to the 60th team, because that really did not make much sense either. So for those guys, I did a little time traveling, and I actually decided to see what if they were drafted 1 year earlier. So like LeBron James, instead of being drafted in 2003, he was drafted in 2002 to the Houston Rockets, who had the number 1 pick. So that was just a little idea that we came up with to do for that. But yeah, man, so you're seeing this Philadelphia 76ers team. You got Kristaps Porzingis, you got Steven Adams, you got Pascal Siakam. Definitely a lot of really solid big guys on this team. I mean, you got Lonzo Ball, of course, Brandon Ingram, Dirk Nowitzki in his prime, of course, would have been absolutely amazing, you know, for this Philadelphia 76ers team. Can you imagine, like, Dirk and Allen Iverson, if they got to play together? That would have been a lot of fun to watch. For the Milwaukee Bucks, you're looking at Joel Embiid and Klay Thompson. I mean, that right there just shows, like, oh, can you imagine they would have got those guys plus Giannis? Oh my god, dude, it's freaking game over. You got Sabonis, Patrick Beverley, Mike Scott. I'm pretty sure all these rosters are correct. The dude, Life Lesson, said he did double check it a few times, but I know it's a ton of NBA players to go through, so there's mistakes, guys. Oh, we do apologize for that. For the Bulls, you're looking at Blake Griffin, Drew Holiday, Eric Bledsoe, DeMarre Carroll, Jordan Clarkson. Of course, I believe, yeah, Blake Griffin was the number 1 pick in the draft, so it was the year before that the Bulls had the 1st pick in the draft, so that's pretty cool. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, looking at Anthony Davis, Draymond Green, Karl Anthony Towns. That defense is going to be freaking savage, plus the offense of the front court, minus Draymond Green, but just as a playmaker, that'd be fine. Valanciunas, you got Jabari Parker, Dwight Howard. So a lot of big guys. Then you finally get down to like Andrew Wiggins, Jay Crowder, Kevin Knox, Etuan Moore. For secondary, yeah, because Cleveland, yeah, because he was picked number 1, so they must have also had the 1st pick the year before. I know there was a while there where the damn Cleveland Cavaliers, they were getting like so many like top 4 picks in the draft. It was absolutely crazy. For the Boston Celtics, you're looking at Julius Randle, Malcolm Brogdon, Rudy Gay. So this also kind of shows that the rosters are kind of trash. It might mean that your team actually did a very good job at drafting, because they didn't end up settling for some of the guys on here like AJ Hammonds. For the Los Angeles Clippers, John Wall, Gordon Hayward, Paul Gasol, PJ Tucker, Michael Porter Jr. So a few decent players out there that the Clippers definitely did sleep on. I mean, John Wall would have been nice in their system. Paul Gasol, of course, when he was back, you know, he was an all-star forward back in the day. You might even say superstar, man. Would you say that Paul Gasol was once upon a time a superstar, or would you just say an all-star? For the Memphis Grizzlies, you got James Harden. I remember this draft. I believe they took Kevin Love. I believe it was back then. Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of a different draft. Danilo Gallinari, Trae Young, Tony Parker, Jeff Green. So some really solid names out here on this list too that the Memphis Grizzlies did sleep on. From the Atlanta Hawks, we're looking at Mike Conley, Nurkic, Jaren Jackson, Terry Rozier, Trevor Ariza, and a few other great names out there to spare. For the Miami Heat, you got Hassan Whiteside. So I think he was drafted by the Sacramento Kings, I believe, but he still ended up the Miami Heat for this anyway. So maybe that was just meant to be. Miles Turner, you got Bojan and Bogdanovic. Bro, I'm probably saying their names wrong. OJ Mayo, Pat Connaughton out there. You got Luke Cornett, who's been killing it for the Knicks. By killing it, I mean, I've seen him make a 3-pointer before, so that was pretty cool. For the Charlotte Hornets, you got Bradley Beal, Tobias Harris, Clint Capella. Those 3 right there, plus you add in like a Josh Richardson, they are a point guard away from being a deadly team in the Eastern Conference. You know what, man? Put Justice Winslow at point guard. He's been doing it for the Miami Heat. Been killing at that position. Utah Jazz. Oh my God. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Paul George, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Goran Dragic. That is a ball club right there, man. And you still got Paul Millsap, Serge Ibaka, Marcus Smart. That is a killer team. But right now, though, man, the Utah Jazz, they're killing it because they ended up getting, like, was it Jokic? No, I'm sorry, not Jokic. Rudy Gobert and also Donovan Mitchell from the Denver Nuggets. So, you know, I think they're doing okay just for that, man. For the Sacramento Kings, you're looking at Damian Lillard, Luka Doncic, Ricky Rubio. You got A.K. Udo. So after like these two players, it gets a little rough out there, but not too bad. Still some good role players at least. For the New York Knicks, DeMar DeRozan, Dennis Smith Jr., Rajon Rondo. Yeah, I know people are really pissed about Dennis Smith Jr. being traded for Porzingis because, like, the fans are saying you guys could have drafted him anyway. You could have had Dennis Smith and not traded your all-star power forward to do so. For the Los Angeles Lakers, you got Jason Tatum. You know, the fact that they could have Jason Tatum on this team right now instead of Lonzo Ball is still kind of mind-boggling because, I don't know, man, I still feel like, though, that they would have had some issues because you would have had, like, Ingram at the 2, I guess, and Jason at the 3 and LeBron at the 4, and then probably, like, no point guard out there. Maybe Rondo, I guess, would have still been on the team, but still, man. I'm still kind of happy they got Lonzo Ball on the Los Angeles Lakers. For the Orlando Magic, you got Victor Oladipo, so I forgot the team that drafted him. I thought he was drafted by the Magic. So this one might be wrong right here, guys. This one might be wrong, but I'm not too sure about it. You got Zach LaVine, Lord Markkinen, Lou Williams. I'm going to double check on that one myself. My apologies if it is. For the Dallas Mavericks, you got Bobby Portis, Mo Bamba, Kelly Olynyk. So their team kind of trash, if we're being honest. For the Brooklyn Nets, Kyle Lowry, Courtney Lee, Marco Bellinelli, another team that outside Kyle Lowry have avoided some not so great draft picks. For the Denver Nuggets, you got Chris Middleton, Karis LeVert, Mirotic, Evan Fournier, Bam Adebayo, Dario Saric. So, once again, some decent players, just nothing too crazy. Although Karis LeVert, I heard, is going to be back for the All-Star break from his foot injury, so that's some great news out there, man. I'm very happy. I hope he continues to ball out for the Brooklyn Nets. Indiana Pacers, Vucevic, Tim Hardaway Jr., John Collins, Trey Lyles. So, some good young prospects on this team, no doubt. Not a lot of, like, big-time veterans, though. For the Pelicans, you got Jamal Murray, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, Thabo Sefolosha, and there's some more names right there. You guys feel free to pause if you want to take a closer look, but I'm trying to get through all of these real quick. Then you got the Detroit Pistons, who could have had Kemba Walker. I remember the draft, man. We could have had Kemba Walker. I was like, he's still there. He's still there, Joe Dumars, and then they just passed on him. We could have a Kemba Walker, Donovan Mitchell backcourt right now. I mean, it's just... and we could have Carmelo Anthony. No, he'd be freaking old ass, and he would have left the Pistons a long time ago, man. Come on. As soon as Chauncey would have left, Melo would have been freaking peeping out. For the Toronto Raptors, we got Drummond, LaMarcus Aldridge. Like, this team, like, 4 years ago would have been pretty dominant because, of course, Drummond was still, he's still extremely young, but he's been in the league for a while now. Dwayne Wade's a bit older, so you got Spencer Dinwiddie. I don't think he would have been playing quite yet anyway. Vince Carter, of course, for the Toronto Raptors. I thought, yeah, who drafted VC? Was it the Mavericks? I don't know if it was the Mavericks. I forgot who it was. I know he ended up in Toronto regardless. Houston Rockets, of course, LeBron James. That's because, like I said earlier, man, being drafted by Cleveland. You got Kawhi Leonard, who was the 15th pick. So, Reggie Jackson, y'all don't want him. Zach Randolph, George Hill, some really solid players out there. Besides for Reggie Jackson, of course. For the San Antonio Spurs, you're looking at Jimmy Butler, Isaiah Thomas, Josh Hart, Larry Nance Jr., and Tomas Satoransky, and the rest of the team. For the Phoenix Suns, De'Aaron Fox, Gary Harris, Marcus Morris Sr., Marvin Bagley, and John Henson. And you got the OKC Thunder out here with Al Horford, Kevin Love, JJ Redick, Jarrett Allen, Tyreek Evans. We are looking at the Timberwolves. This is the one that's absolutely freaking mind-boggling, guys. These are all players. These are all players. I think for the most, what was Marcus Cousins picked? Yeah, he was, 5th overall. And I guess you got Ben Simmons, who, he was number 1, right? These are all players that the Timberwolves could have had. Steph Curry, Russell Westbrook, Jokic, DeMarcus, Ben Simmons, Gobert, CJ McCollum, DeAndre Jordan, with the exception of Ben Simmons because of my first round rule right here. But that's it, man. But that's absolutely it. So, yeah, D'Lo, when was he even get? Yeah, he was the 2nd pick overall. Oh, my God. And then you got the Portland Trail Blazers with Kevin Durant. They elected to take Greg Oden, Kyle Kuzma, Derrick Rose, Harrison Barnes. D. Rose was the 1st pick in the draft, so it's the same rule with him, though. Then you got the Golden State Warriors. Now, their team, their real-life team is looking like this Timberwolves team. Like, they did a great job actually drafting the right players because these are all guys that were drafted right out of some of their big names, and it's a lot of trash. So, yeah. And then we got the Washington Wizards with Kyrie, Marc Gasol, Cody Zeller, DeLon Wright, Tyson Chandler. So here we go, man. Let's go ahead and check out this simulation. So the team we are going to be looking at for the simulation is the Minnesota Timberwolves. As we go through the simulation right here, there was definitely a topic I want your guys' opinion on, and that is, what do you guys think is like the big reason that certain NBA players get slept on in the NBA? I kind of have a theory about it. And look at this damn Timberwolves taking over, man. They're probably gonna go 8-2-0 if I'm being honest here. But I think that NBA scouts look a little bit too much into like the physical aspect of players. Yes, in some cases, if you are a beast like LeBron James, there's no overlooking that. But LeBron James is not just extremely athletic. He also has like the basketball mind to go with it. And I don't know, man. I feel like the draft combine is something that scouts look a little bit too much at. It's just like, oh my God, this guy could run this much faster than somebody else. But at the end of the day, man, I think it's all about the eye test. I think it's all about just looking at the player, looking at what they did in college, and just knowing. And in some cases, yes, players are not as good in college as they are actually in the NBA. I mean, like Donovan Mitchell, I didn't really watch him in college all that much. I didn't really know about him, but I'm sure if he would have played in college like he was in the NBA, then people would have been taking him like the top 3 pick in the draft, right? So that's just one example right there, of course. But I don't know, man, because I think about like Hasheem Thabeet. Hasheem Thabeet was 7'3", a great shot blocker, and people thought he was going to be like this, like next, like the Kemba Mutombo type of player out there. So he was athletic. He just didn't really have the fundamentals of the game outside of just being a lot taller than everybody else. I remember watching like guys in high school. I mean, I don't know how much of you guys remember about this guy, Matt Costello. He played for the Michigan State Spartans, college basketball a few seasons back. He actually went to my high school, and I remember going to one of his games before. And, like, he was so much taller than everybody else. Like, that guy was given about 15 blocks, like 30 rebounds, just scoring at will all over the court. You know, went to college, was a decent college player, was not amazing, but he was decent out there. Then ended up going to the NBA. He got a gig with the San Antonio Spurs, I believe, for their G League team. I don't know if he ever actually played in the NBA. I think he might have actually played like a game or something like in the G League or something like that. But that's just a prime example of just in some cases, you're just bigger than everybody else. And then when you get to people on your level, it's game over, man. It's game over. I mean, you know, going to the G League is still nothing to be disappointed about. But that's just kind of my point I'm trying to bring up here, guys. Is I think, like, you know, Stephen Curry, I know that guy, people see him, they were out of college, and they were like, oh my God, he's so small out there, and he's just not going to make it in the NBA. When in reality, he's a workhorse, and also Stephen Curry, I believe, can deadlift the most out of anybody on his entire NBA team. So, I don't know, man. Here are all the awards. We got LeBron James as MVP, Luka Doncic as Rookie of the Year, Nikola Jokic as Sixth Man, Draymond Green, a Defensive Player, Jason Tatum as Most Improved, and Top Thibodeau as Coach of the Year. All-NBA First Team, Kyle Lowry of the Brooklyn Nets, Kyrie Irving, LeBron, Giannis, and Joel Embiid. All-NBA Second, looking like this. So, yeah, I mean, we're still going to see like the best of the best players up in here. Although, Pau Gasol, All-NBA Third Team? Damn, you know what? Good for you, Pau. 14 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. One hard foul away from turning into a legit, like, fossil. I don't know, man. That's crazy. I was not expecting that at all. Here are the rest of the awards for you guys to see, though. So, yeah, we got Minnesota at number 1. We got Cleveland number 1 over on the Eastern Conference. Quick, just, like, stroll through the player stats if you guys want to check all these out. I'm just gonna show, like, the top 5 right here just so you guys can see all those. I know this video is getting really long, man. Like, some of these rosters take quite a bit of time to go through, and I know people don't always like when I go through the rosters, but I personally like to do it just because, like, the dude is taking so much time to make it, so I want to actually go through and analyze it and give you guys a good opportunity to see what the teams are all about right here. So I don't know, man. I think it's a fair thing to do. And did I go through all the teams? Yes, I did. And just so you can see the rest of this team because they were so beastly. Yeah, man. You got damn, you could have had Kendrick Perkins too. Unbelievable. All right, let's go ahead and simulate these playoffs. But yeah, man, I do want to know from you guys in the comment section below, especially if you made it this deep into the video. That means you're probably a big Crispy fan, which is great. I need some more what if video ideas because in roughly a month, I'm going to be going to Puerto Rico for some time, and I'm going to need some video ideas, guys. So if you have any ideas for that, man, let me know them in the comment section below. It'd be greatly appreciated just because, like, you know, that's going to be a very stressful week before going, like, trying to, like, set up videos. I love doing daily upload for you guys out there. It's just, I don't know, man, it's a passion of mine. I love doing daily uploads, so I don't plan on making that stop, although for that 1 week, it might be every other day, depending on how things are going out there. And we do have looks like the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to win it all, as my prediction stated. Yes, 4-0. Russell Westbrook, your finals MVP. Hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Be sure to drop that like, subscribe if you're new to my channel, and peace out, my friends.